The official source of information for Italian seas is the Meteorology bulletin, issued by the Meteorological Service of the Air Force. And we all have to pay attention to this information available for the Tyrian and Ligurian, the Ionian, Sardinian, Corsica, the Strait of Sicily, and all other areas. However, we remind you that there are also other public sources covering the seas at international level. This is a representation of the maritime covering system through the international bulletins. In this way, the positive thing is that nowadays we have bulletins which can be compared with those of national source. For example, should we be sailing around Corsica, we will tune on the National Meteorology Bulletin, issued on a 24/7 basis on VHF 68 channel. But at the same time, we can use Meteo France Marine Weather Report covering the same areas. It should be quite clear that we have to be careful to match the areas, as the subdivision for Meteorology is different from that chosen by Meteo France. There exists another organization called GMDSS, which includes all these sources. It's a maritime safety system, providing marine bulletins in English, for example, for all areas of the Mediterranean. It is certainly useful to check and compare more sources.
Visibilità buona in diminuzione, molto mosso in attenuazione, tendenza sud-ovest 6, locali, piogge, Adriatico meridionale, nord-ovest 4 in rotazione.
An important element is that mariners often complain about meeting a wind stronger or lighter than that indicated in the weather reports. And indeed, on a local basis, the observed conditions could be quite different from the forecast ones. But we cannot blame the weather bulletin when we see a discrepancy. What often happens, in fact, is that along the coast, we need to try to adapt the report to the local weather by reasoning on it. There is also another point to consider. If, for example, the Meteorology reports a force 5 wind, the bulletin refers to this average force of the wind, about 20 knots. But it's not unlikely that the gusts can be considerably stronger. The mariners usually remember the gusts that hit their boat with greatest force, rather than the average wind force indicated in the weather reports. The same applies to the wave height. The height indicated on the weather bulletins, that is the sea state, refers to the average and not the highest waves, which could be even higher.